This is Matthew Reese with Primetime Sports at the Duncanville Fieldhouse, reporting on the Dallas Tip-Off Classic, and I'm sitting here with Stacy Houston, who works with Primetime. He also runs Play Hoops. How you doing today, Stacy?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well, just enjoying a nice day of basketball. There's a lot of great competition out here, and you're one of the main reasons that we have such great competition here at the Dallas Tip-Off Classic. I was talking with Big E earlier, and he mentioned that you guys kind of sat down a while back and talked about bringing everybody in the Dallas basketball community together. Just tell me a little bit more about that process.
Yeah, we're actually at a tournament, and we were talking about other tournaments across the country, and we were talking about how everybody wants to come to Dallas. And Big E and I, 6 years ago, sat down and we talked about if all of the AAU programs could come together and run a big tournament, what do we thought it would turn out to be? And so we came up and said, hey, let's do it. So we picked 4 guys. We went from south, east, west, north, guys to be a part of it that have strong programs. And we were able to have a meeting. We came together. Everybody said they wanted to do it. So the next step was finding somebody who could actually coordinate it and run it. What better facilitator or event organizer than Primetime Sports? So that's how it evolved and came together.
Now, Dallas Showtime, Dallas Mustangs, DJH5, and Texas or Nike Pro Skills, they're all here. Arguably the 4 biggest, kind of best programs in Dallas. What does that say about the Dallas basketball community that these teams can come together and play and work together to put on this tournament?
That the Metroplex, and I call it on Play Hoops, I call the Metroplex the Plex. So the Plex realizes there's one goal, and the goal is to give all of the youth in the Plex an opportunity to play college basketball. So what better way of doing that than 4 mentors, coaches, fathers, uncles, brothers come together and say, if we can show individuals that we can work together, then other individuals around our communities can also work together. Because that's like the biggest thing in our community is people not working together. So that was the main premise of us doing this, was showing people that we can come together, we can work for one common goal, and that's helping the youth. And so we think we've accomplished that. Primetime, like I said, they're one of the best in basketball organizations as far as running events. They're one of the top. So the event is just going really, really smooth, and people are very, very impressed with it right now.
Now, it's called the Dallas Tip-Off Classic, and, according to Big E, this is just the tip. This is just the start of the Dallas Tip-Off Classic. You're hoping for next year to have just an even bigger tournament, maybe bring in some more teams across Texas, some more teams across the nation. Where can this go?
This year alone, we got 148 teams. So they're all from the Metroplex except for 3 teams: Monroe, Oklahoma, and San Antonio.
Okay.
No Houston teams.
Well, the Final Four is going on.
Because
what
I was going to say, because of the Final Four, those teams chose to stay at home and not travel. We know if we would have brought Houston in, we have relationships with the top 4 organizations in Houston. They have 10 to 20 teams each. Just those organization teams come, that pushes it well over 200. So we think this is going to become a national event where we're going to have teams from Chicago, we're going to have teams from, more teams from Oklahoma, Arkansas, those type of things. And we really, really feel good about it because Primetime is going to be running them. So their history of doing things in an organized fashion, games are on time, very uniformed. It's going to increasingly move us in a faster pace to becoming a national level team because you have the organization and the competition. So we think next year we should be 350 in teams. And like now we have 13 courts with the teams that we have. So we think it's going to grow tremendously next year.
Now, this year, some of the best players, some of the best teams in Dallas are here. Talk a little bit about like some of the great programs, some of the great teams that are competing today.
Um, Dallas Mustangs is the most historical. Tony Johnson's been around the longest. He has, and I'm going off the top of my head, roughly 10 pros that have come through his program. Big E with Dallas Showtime is the second, has been running his program the second longest. He's put over 80 plus guys in Division I basketball. He has, 2 or 3 pros as well. Jeff Webster is the new, Nike elite team in Dallas. He's trained, some of the best guys to come through Dallas. Julius Randle right now is one of the most known, plays for the Lakers. These guys are individuals that love what they do. They make big sacrifices, and they continuously, year after year after year, put guys into college. So with bringing those 3 teams together, and then me coming in with the DJH5 organization and having relationships across the country with all 4 of those groups, it's just tremendous that, because most people, when we first talked about doing this, man, you'd be amazed at how many people said, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. So right now, putting this event on in the way that it's going is just tremendous. It's just tremendous.
Now, this isn't just about elite teams. Yes, it came around the elite teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it formed.
Mm-hmm.
But, Dallas basketball has depth. Dallas basketball
Yes.
has some incredible teams
Yes.
that maybe don't
Yes.
get publicity.
Yes.
And what does a tournament like this do for that community?
Well, I'll even talk just in our team. All of our teams aren't elite. We might be an elite program, but all our teams aren't elite. So we have guys that are D1. We have guys that need this foundation to understand teamwork, to understand, being able to just get along in the communities. So with those other teams that are early building programs, it gives them an opportunity to come and compete against some of the better programs. Also, it gives those program directors opportunities to come and talk to Tony Johnson, talk to Big E, talk to me, talk to Jeff Webster about how to run a program. And also, I had a talk today with an individual who runs a program that I'm going to actually implement what they're doing. They've only been doing it for 2 years. So there's things that we learn from them as well. And so you give them an opportunity for people just to come together you love basketball, your dad's a high school coach and everything. So you understand about getting in the gym and people just sitting around talking. You learn so much from individuals. And so those teams that are considered not elite, one day, especially a 6th grade, 7th grade, they may be in 2 or 3 years. Because when they play against those elite teams, they realize what it takes to, work, dedication, people got to grow into their sizes and all that kinds of stuff. So it was, I don't even call it an elite event as far as team-wise. We're wanting it to be an elite event because it gives everybody an opportunity to get exposure. Like what you're doing. You're going to be interviewing a variety of teams, something that when you go to other tournaments, the lower tier teams don't get interviewed. They're not important. Well, you're going above and beyond on what you do to allow those individuals to get on the camera and talk about what they do, how they do it, why they're doing it, those type of things. So I want to commend you for that, for even wanting to do, what you're doing today. That's going to help also take our event to another level. You being here and talking about the event and taking time to interview people about the event.
Lastly, what's just the biggest thing that you want to come out of this weekend as an organizer, as a coach, as a person? What's the biggest thing that you want from this weekend?
To show our communities that if you work together in whatever you're doing, whether it's tournaments, whether it's, whatever it is, if you can work together, you're going to benefit more people. And that's what we've been able to do this week by hosting this event. Again, you're here. We have other video guys here. Baller's Life is here. You have teams from across Dallas being here. It's giving the sense that if you have an idea and you can find people to work with you, and you all humble yourself and put your mind on one goal, you can accomplish anything. And that's our biggest thing, teaching people to work with one another, because the goal is supposed to be exposure. So if you have a kid that's really, really good, I should be pubbing that kid, even though he may be better than the kid I have. I should be pubbing your kid. He's the better kid. And so with that, I believe individuals working together, it's just going to steadily increase Dallas basketball and bring exposure to Dallas basketball.